And that's the reason why you should never eat apple pie again.
Wait, I missed that entire thing. Can you go over all that again?
No, Adam, we've been doing this for 3 hours now. Did you not get that? I had spreadsheets. I had everything. Apple pie, bad. I told you exactly why, and now you'll never know. So go on eating your apple pie and enjoying it.
All right, fine. We're just going to start with the in-pencil podcast here. I'm Adam.
And I'm Jess.
And we were having a conversation and I pressed record by accident. So now we're just doing a podcast.
So we should think of something to do. Let's see. We're in season 2 of In Pencil. We got renewed, as you probably already heard if you listened to the first episode of the
we
podcast.
autonomously renewed ourselves. Yes.
Yeah, we had a very long, hard discussion with ourselves.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of crying.
Yeah.
There was some groveling. There might have been some bribery, but we ended it with.
I don't recall the bribery, honestly. Huh. Interesting. Anyway.
I don't know how that. Yeah.
So the theme of the season is mental health, right?
Mental health. That's the health that is of the mind.
And the theme of the YouTube channel right now appears to be primarily Zelda.
That's true. We have a playthrough going on that is eventually we'll have another video up for it, but it's a really tough edit because of some technical difficulties that I have to go through and scrub out.
What is it?
We had some glitching in the video.
Oh yeah.
If you remember.
I thought I was cussing too much. I was probably cussing a lot too.
It's just that is taking a lot longer than I thought it would. And also, we just put up another video on the link to the past, this past week, a video that I literally worked 6 months on.
Yeah, and it's doing pretty well. I gave it a bit of a boost on Facebook, and so it's doing pretty well. Over 200 views right now, which I think is one of our best videos we've done. So
we are still a small channel, and 200 views is a freak ton.
Yeah.
Whatever that's supposed to mean. We only have like 8 or 9 videos that have had over 100 views. So one that has, we love that. So feel free, check it out. youtube.inpencil.live. You can see all our great YouTube channel pages. All our great YouTube videos.
Yeah.
We have some good ones.
Yes.
Indeed. We like the one I did on Wednesday about the Chris Houlihan room, or we have some terrible ones like the one I did about if your mother-in-law's is haunting you. I mean,
that video's hilarious.
It is
that video's
great.
Hilarious.
I don't think it resonated as much as I was hoping, but it was the most funny video I've ever written.
It's hilarious. It is genuinely funny. Then we have the Stanley Parable playthrough, which we just finished up.
Yes, and that I think that's resonating with people, and so feel free to go watch Stanley Parable. We could have our own Stanley Parable podcast if we wanted to. There's so much stuff to talk about about the Stanley Parable, but we're not going to. So just watch our video.
We do have other games that I want to play.
Yes,
we want to play.
Eventually, we need to play Untitled Goose Game together, if we can.
Yeah, and that and
Subliminal, right?
Superliminal, whatever it was called. Yeah, that one. The puzzle one. The shape-shifting, I don't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's really cool. And then I made a video about Tom DeLonge's Super Charlie Mario ripoff game, which have you played? It's amazing.
Oh, I have not played it. I meant to play it. I forgot. I got to play that. It's great. It's a great video. I don't know if the game is as good as the video. We'll just say that.
It's funny. It's a funny game.
Yeah. But please check out our YouTube page if you haven't already. I think you'll find some things you like. And if you don't like it, then don't stick around. But there's a lot of different variety on there because we're variety
people.
YouTubers.
Whatever.
Kind of like our videos. Eclectic.
Yeah.
I said our videos. I meant kind of like our podcasts. But today we are still talking about mental health.
Yep.
But today we are talking about mental health. And we did say last time that we talk about a few video game characters. So the first one we're going to talk about is the silent protagonist known as Link. And this is where the intro comes in. Oh, cut that out. That's actually
Oh yeah, you can't sing the Simpsons
Star Wars
theme. Oh, okay. I thought you were singing the Simpsons theme. My bad.
I think that's Star Wars. Actually, I don't know if you have to cut that out because it's me terribly doing Star Wars. So bad that you thought it was The Simpsons, but you don't really know Star Wars.
Yeah, it's fine.
Do you know, have you ever seen Star Wars movies?
Yeah, I have.
Do you care for them or not?
I've seen portions of them.
All I'm thinking is we should do a podcast one time about how much you don't care for Star Wars.
Yes, we should. That would be. I can make notes. You know what I should do is go through and watch Star Wars for the very first time, and then
we still have to do the Christmas Chronicles. We need to do that because I need you to watch that.
Oh yeah, when do you want to do that?
Let's see what's a good day. Probably next weekend is when I can do it.
All right, that's fine.
It's an hour and a half movie, so
all right,
we'll just do commentary. We'll both watch it together and we'll talk as we watch it.
Okay, yeah, that'd be interesting. Because we could live stream it too. Well, can we live stream it? I don't think we can live stream it.
You can't live stream the video.
Yeah,
we can put it up as a. There are a few ways you can do it. You can do it as a. I've seen it done as on Discord, where it's just you play, where we start talking live, and then we say hit play in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
And then we go through it, and then we can just take that recording and put it up on our somewhere. It's our commentary of the Christmas Chronicles, which the reason why I want you to see it is because it has it's a very interesting film that I watched last year holding my baby daughter because I needed something to do while I was holding my baby daughter.
Okay. All right.
The things you excuse me, the things you watch when you're just so exhausted.
Fair enough. I guess that's true. Yes. I've been exhausted before. Never because of a child, but I've been exhausted before.
It's not like you've ever had any careers where you were exhausted up all night or whatnot.
We're going to talk about that here. We're going to talk about that here.
We do not talk about Adam's career as a
ninja. I'm a ninja.
I was going to say as a
it's
up all night.
A secret spy ninja with a triple layer top secret clearance that goes to different foreign countries and assassinates. Okay, I'm just living Jason Bourne right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I had you working as a prostitute. That was the joke I was trying to make about being in a career up all night.
I actually do both of those things.
But no, you can go with Secret Ninja. I mean, I was trying to make a dumb joke, and here we are.
I'm Jason Bourne, and it's fine.
Jason Bourne. Jason Bourne times Deuce Bigelow.
Right. Yes. Okay. So can we talk about Zelda again?
Let's and scene.
All right. So Zelda with relation to mental health. Yes. I don't know anything about this topic, and go.
Yes. Real quick, this conversation will contain spoilers for the Legend of Zelda series. If you do not want to hear the spoilers, skip ahead to minute 347 and 32 seconds in this particular podcast.
Okay. Whispering on audio does not work very well. Continue.
Do I need to say that again?
No, you're fine.
Okay. Basically, this whole thing will contain spoilers. So if you don't want to know spoilers about the Legend of Zelda series, first of all, they're not really that many. It's very formulaic. And second of all, you're just going to miss the podcast, and that's fine. Yeah. Just go to the next one. But just also know that most of these games are at least 3 years old. So
get on board. Yeah. Play some Zelda like I've never have before.
Because you already know who the main character of the Mandalorian is, right? So that's even
no, I don't.
Well, that's for a different podcast.
Is it the little rat-looking thing?
The little rat-looking thing, Baby Yoda.
Yeah, that thing. Yeah, is it that?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyway. We have negative subscribers on our podcast and our YouTube channel once this gets released. How do you have negative followers?
All right, so what about Zelda? What are we doing?
So So we're talking about the silent protagonists of Link, and this is going to be an ongoing series. I believe Adam's got a few Fallout characters he wants to talk about, or at least one Fallout character he wants to talk about down the line. The difference is in the Fallout series, you have specific characters that you can talk about that take place, I guess, in one of the Fallout games, right?
Yeah.
Link is a reincarnating quote-unquote character that appears multiple times throughout the Legend of Zelda series. There are 19 main games. I should know this. I don't remember, and I'm not going to list them. And you only get the same Link so many times. So it's multiple Links, there's multiple Zeldas, and there's the same Ganon in a way when he does appear. Ganon doesn't appear in every single game.
Okay.
As you may know, I am a pretty big Zelda fan, been one since the original, so I can go on and on about this, and I'm going to try not to, even though Adam can see it, but nobody else can see my painting, my picture in the corner is the map from The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
Oh, nice.
And my Breath of the Wild map is over that way.
Very nice.
Those are the most two recent Zelda games that have come out for the Nintendo Switch.
Mm-hmm.
The main game that I'm going to talk about in this particular one is Breath of the Wild, which is the most recent newest edition. Came out in March of 2017 for the Wii U and the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Right. So mild spoilers for the Link of the
A Link to the Zelda.
The Link of the Breath of the Zelda of the Past.
So mild spoilers to the Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Will be commencing. So you wake up in this like chamber. You leave. You don't know what's really going on, and you meet this old guy who kind of tells you things that you need to do, and you still don't have a clue what's going on as you do the whole first part of the game, which can take anywhere from like 10 minutes if you're fast till like days. Because the whole first section of the game, which is the introduction, like the intro section, just kind of for you to figure out how to play this game.
Yeah.
The area is larger than Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
So the area you get to play with to do your intro section is massive. It's bigger than all maps, almost every map of the Legend of Zelda series ever. Outside of like maybe Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. Maybe Skyward Sword, but I don't know. I'm not that. So you know nothing, and then slowly you start learning. You are getting taught what happened 100 years before, and you kind of learn what happens. You learn that you were a knight whose job was to defeat Ganon, and you succumbed in battle. You don't know how. And then over the course of the game, you can pick up, it's optional, but you can get these extra memories. These, I think, 18 memories. Some of them aren't optional. No, actually, I think every single one of them is. You can pick up these optional memories that tell you what happened 100 years before. And so you're in this as someone who just is going on a quest and you don't know why. Because that's what you're told to do. And that kind of gets it in the mental health aspect of this is how many of us go on a quest and we don't really know why, but it's just because someone told us to do it. We do something because we're told to do it. That's a very common thing. And I just always think about, is this really the path Link wants to take? He has no clue why he's doing this.
Does he have a choice? Does he have an option to opt out?
It's a video game, so the option is you just don't do it.
Oh. Wow.
You know, there's no alternate ending, but you don't have to see the credits. Why would the credits rolling be the ending necessarily? When do you get the credits roll in Mario Kart?
Every time you beat the game. Every time you beat a cup, I think, right?
Do you?
Yeah.
No.
No?
I don't think you get credit roll.
Mario Kart 8, I think it's after you beat a cup, you get credits.
I don't
check on that. I'm pretty sure. Anyway,
but
I see your point,
games,
though.
You don't get credits. Do you get credits in Fortnite?
I have no idea. I've never played Fortnite.
Or Fall Guys or Among Us?
No.
You don't.
No, you don't. There's no end.
So So we have it in our head that with video games, you're supposed to get credits, and that means you've completed the game. You've done the thing you're supposed to do is when the credits roll. But why? So in this game, you can literally go do a lot of things. Like any open world, Breath of the Wild is an open world game. And a lot of open world games, you can go out and do whatever you want.
Okay.
There are tasks that you're supposed to do, but you don't have to. So as the player, you can choose just not to do it. You're told, hey, Hyrule Castle, you need to go defeat Ganon there, or Calamity Ganon, as he's known in this game. Go defeat him, because that's what you're chosen to do. And I think about, like, for those of us who grew up in religious traditions, go tell people about Jesus, because that's what you're supposed to do. Or go show how great America is, because that's what you're supposed to do. Or go be this type of job, because that's what you're supposed to do. And we just buy into it.
Yeah.
The same way Link buys into it over and over again. He's the quote-unquote hero, and he has to do this mission. And we kind of believe that too. Like, you're very likely in your life to end up in the same economic level as your parents, because you're very likely to take on similar jobs.
Yeah.
You're very likely to live your entire life, or is it live your life or die? I can't remember which one, within 50 miles of where you're born.
Yeah, either one of those, yeah.
Now, it doesn't happen for everyone, but a lot of people will live their entire life within 50 miles of where they're born. Because
most people, yeah.
Yeah. And there is something to it. There is a reason why you do it. One, it is very difficult. For those of you who've done it, you know, it's very difficult to move across states or countries.
Yeah.
Our system isn't set up, like, if you were born in Arkansas, it's not really set up for you to even go live in Texas.
Right.
Because of all the things that have to change.
Right.
It's just too complicated. Now, I guess if you lived in another country, switching cities or switching counties might be a little easier. I don't know. I've never lived in England. And I know they have, I think, counties. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, they have counties, yeah.
Yeah. But even in, like, living in the US, switching counties, if you move to a different county, there is some changes that has to happen.
Well, yeah, you got to do a change of address. You got to update your plates on your vehicles. You got to change your electric bill. You got to...
Yeah. Internet, cable, all that.
Yeah.
Everything has to get changed. It's not easy to change.
Playboy subscription, it all has to change.
All of it. Do you still have Playboy subscriptions?
I imagine so. It's still around. I don't know.
I don't get... I just do not get paid porn. I will never understand this. I get it in the, like, I get it before, like, 2010. Because back then, it was Do I need to stop talking?
No, you can continue.
Oh, okay. I get why you'd have it back then, because the internet was not great. So if you wanted to watch video, it was blurry, I guess. But in, like, at least the last 10 years, for most of at least America, I do not understand why you need to pay for your porn. Comment down below, if there is a down below wherever you're watching this, on why you would pay for porn.
That would be an interesting...
I may have just accidentally created something bad.
We just opened up Pandora's box. Anyway.
Yes.
Back to Link.
Yeah. But this idea is, like, and what I mean, like, we don't move, is because we stay the course that it was kind of predestined for us. When people have kids, they kind of have this idea of what they want their kids to be like. I know this. I already, like, before my child was born, I was already thinking about what I wanted my child to do, the type of things I wanted to teach her, and what I thought was important for her to know. And doing that is going to greatly influence what type of work she gets into.
Yeah.
She knows that her parents went to college.
Yeah.
And very much in favor of grad school and post-college education of some sort. She's going to see that. She's going to see this idea of this quote unquote white collar type work, I guess. And it's weird because we're putting her into a box, and that's the box she's supposed to go with. And that works great if that's what you want to do. But what if Link doesn't want to be the hero?
Right.
We never think about that.
No. So let's talk about the box for a second. Because let's say you're a parent. You are. I'm not. Maybe one day I will be. Who knows? I don't know.
Maybe you already are.
For certain, that is untrue. But
I'm waiting for the movie. Hallmark movie.
Yeah.
Adam was a simple man. And then one day, ding, ding, I'm your child.
No. Geez, that is extremely personal. No.
What?
Just no. Anyway,
he doesn't know how. And later he learns it's not actually his child, but he loves the baby anyway. Till he realizes it's actually a robot sent to kill him by a person he knew in high school who hates his guts.
Okay, that sounds like a Futurama plot, is what that sounds like to me. Is that a Futurama plot?
Yeah. It might very well be. I've seen a lot of Futurama episodes. I don't remember them all.
So you're a parent.
Yes.
Somebody who's listening to this may be a parent. Is there a way, how can a parent ensure that they're not placing their kid into that box? Is it possible to not do that? Like, you could not take them to church. You could make their education as best as possible or whatever. What do you see?
Well, see, here it gets into the things like not taking them to church is putting them into a box. The same way taking them to church is putting them into a box.
Right. Yeah.
Getting the best. Oh, excuse me. I don't know what that random sound was. Getting the best.
Something about between bed, best, and jest, I think is what I heard.
Getting the best education is putting someone in a box because you're saying like education is important. And in some ways it is, but sometimes ignorance is bliss, right?
Yeah, I would say so.
Let's face it, the least educated people, like overall who do not think at all, tend to live happier.
Yeah.
At least in certain, there are other factors. I get that. There are a lot of factors that go into this. But what are you doing?
Protecting the thing from the outside noise. The landlord is out spraying the fucking garden hose right now.
Okay.
And of course you can hear everything, even though the fucking windows are closed. So maybe this will help protect the noise. So it's going to look weird, but continue.
It looks like you're loving on your robot child who's come to kill you. Or what's remaining of the robot child after it blew up. You're like, no, Thomas, I loved you.
All right, continue.
Anyway, where was I?
I'm going to mute myself while you're talking, by the way,
okay.
just to keep this background noise out of here.
So, it's hard to keep a child out of a box. I think the only thing you could do, truthfully, is to say, hey, I'm placing you in a box. Maybe not literally say that, but let them know, like, there are other options. This is what your parents did. This is how we came to where we are in life, but you don't have to be that way. I think one of the most important things that I see, at least in American education, is this divide between quote unquote blue collar and white collar work, which we don't use those terms anymore, but we still have this idea of like a trade versus a college degree. And I think showing both the advantages of both is important. Like for me, I think things that I would like my daughter to learn, and she's not going to learn it all from me because I don't know it all, is it's just as important to be able to do algebra as it is to change oil in your car.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Like some stuff where you have to use your hands and you have to get dirty, and other stuff where you really have to do a lot of random thinking skills.
Yeah, like life skills that they don't teach you in high school or middle school or elementary school. They don't teach it. I mean, maybe even shop class, but for changing your oil or whatever. But there's different social pressures that prevent you from taking shop class. Like a lot of girls aren't going to want to take shop class. You know what I mean? But those same girls are going to break down on the interstate at some point, and they are going to need to change a tire. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And a lot of guys don't want to take like
home ec or whatever they call it. Yeah.
But I still think about this. I learned how to sew, believe it or not, from my dad. He knew how to sew. And the reason why is because he knew how important it was to know how to sew for various reasons.
Yeah. Well, I know how to sew because I took home ec and I shoved a needle through my hand when I did it. It was very painful, and that's a story for another day. Like straight through the.
I shoved the not the needle part, but the back end part of a needle through my thumb.
Oh my God.
Working back, if you're curious, Adam and I have always tried these creative adventures.
Yeah.
Even since high school, and I used to publish homemade published books.
Yeah.
I would create my own books, and some of that involved needles going through things that needles can't easily go through.
Right, like thick paper.
Yes. There are reasons why people use thimbles.
Yes.
And I would love to know the story of why you just went stabby, stabby. I've also stapled myself twice.
Okay, I'll tell you the story, and then I'll record it for the other thing, for the MD Adam SoundCloud podcast thing that I'm working on the side. So we'll do that some other time.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes,
so
life skills. You don't learn life skills because they paint you in. Education is more concerned with indoctrination than they are actually preparing you for real life. That's a fact.
And the other thing is like, or you just think education, like people are like, you don't really need to know math, or you don't need to know this stuff. Like, and you get this idea where you come from a family who's like, math, who needs that? And learning algebra is probably going to be one of the most important skills you can have, because it's going to be used in any job. Because here's the thing about math, and I saw this one time that I on like some post, is like, when people ask, when am I going to use this in my life? And the answer is, you're not, but it's creating critical thinking skills. And trust me, every job has critical thinking skills. Mathematics, just pure mathematics, allows you to really use critical thinking skills in a way that like English doesn't, or geography doesn't. In high school, that's where you're going to get most of your critical thinking skills. Now, when you go to college, if you major in any degree, no matter if it is English or geography or whatever, you're going to have to use critical thinking skills. But in high school and middle school and elementary school, a lot of that is going to be math-based, because it's the easiest one for people to really attach to early on. 2x plus 1 equals 3, and you have to figure out what is x, and you have to do some thinking.
Right.
In ways that's like, find the verb. That's not as much critical thinking skills.
Right.
There's one way to find the verb. There are multiple ways to solve math problems sometimes.
Now, I do have a strong appreciation for literature and writing and the creative aspects of utilizing the English language to convey a message, or not just the English language, but utilizing the language to convey a message. But those are two separate sides of the brain, correct?
Yeah. There's no side of the brain that does that. That's just talky. That's made up.
Folklore.
Yeah, there are sections of the brain that invoke different things, but you're not left brain or right brain. That's just made up.
Yeah. Okay.
People say it. People understand what it means, but I don't think it's real. It's
a good anecdotal thing to say, but it doesn't really have any foundation in reality.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's like so much of what we say.
Yeah.
I've always told people the two things that are very important in high school to learn is how to do the 5-paragraph persuasive essay and how to do algebra, because that will work in any job, because you're going to have to persuade people sometimes or explain why you're doing something. So you need to, you need those skills. Those are good skills to have in general. Will they get you outside of the box? Not by themselves. They're important. I think it's important to really tell people, show your kids different types of careers. I think so. I have a young child, so I don't really know how this is going to work. Ask me in 20 years if I did it well. But it's going to be hard to get them out of that box. But this idea is like, we see this a lot where people become like CEOs or upper management, and they're making $200,000 to $1 million a year or so, and they're just so miserably unhappy, or they have so high blood pressure because they're so stressed out all the time. And you see the movies where they're like, or you hear the stories where I quit my high-level banking job and went and became a baker at a local shop. And because you got into a field that you thought you were supposed to. You took the pathway that you thought you were supposed to. And
then you hated it.
Yeah. And I've never seen that in a Zelda game, but it is interesting. There's one Zelda game that gets into this. Major spoilers for this.
Okay.
The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. In The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and someday I am going to make a video about The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Not yet. It's been something I've been writing and rewriting for years, literally, how I want to convey this. The idea is you get dropped on this island, you meet this girl, and I always thought it was her father, but I don't actually know if it is. Just this old dude she's shacking up with.
Okay.
Kinda weird.
Okay.
Maybe not, because I think she's a little kid. I don't know who he is.
Okay.
It's a little weird. Let's not think about it too much. We're going to say it's her father.
Okay.
And you learn about this island, and she just wants to go away. She never knew anybody existed outside this island because she's lived on this island and only at the people on the island.
Right.
You get to meet all these kids, these talking animals. They're enemies all over the island, and your job is to go wake the windfish, and that's how you can get off the island.
Okay.
So that's your goal, and you go and you beat the 8 dungeons, and along the way you learn the bad guys or the bosses of these dungeons start telling you, if you wake the windfish, you will the island will cease to exist because it's all in a dream of the windfish. So everything you've learned on this island, everything you come to love, and this great moment that you've had with all these people, they're all gone if you wake the windfish. And then you have someone who tells you have this guide who says, nobody really knows what's going to happen. But they keep saying it. They keep telling you, like, if you wake the windfish, the island will disappear.
So the windfish is like enlightenment. More or less.
It's the thing you're supposed to do.
Right. Okay.
And so Link could wake the windfish and get off the island and go about his business. Or he could stay on the island. And there are a lot of monsters around, but not in the towns. The towns are fine. And he could defend the towns. He's really skilled by the end.
So I haven't played this game, but so in waking the windfish, does that destroy what he had already known to be true? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it destroys the island. The island does disappear. You actually get to watch
physically
kids,
destroys.
Yeah, you get to watch little kids playing ball and they disappear.
Wow.
The whole island disappears.
Wow.
So everything's gone. And there is the woman or the girl who's like discovers Link when he washes up on the island. She talks about her feelings for him. There's like this really tender scene between the two of them. Like, more tender than I've ever seen in another Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he's killing her too. He knows that. He goes into this knowing what he's going to do. And he kills all of them because that's what he's supposed to do. One of my favorite videos is, and I'll send it to you and you can link it, is the Link, I think it's the Zelda game without a hero. Is what it's called, because he's not a hero in this. He's not the hero. He doesn't save the day. he wakes up this fish and he kills everything that he spent this time with. I remember the first time I played this game, I was just like, what just happened? You know, when you play a game and it's not back when I played it when I was a teen or a kid. I think I was a teen. I spent weeks, months on this because it wasn't the only thing I was doing. And so you get invested in this world and then you save the day. And like with other games, you like save the day and it's over. But in this one, you save the day and you don't have this happy ending. It's done. Everything's gone. Everything you work to save, because you're trying to save this town in a lot of ways, or these towns, is gone. And that's the opposite, like where you see like Link goes on and he saves the day, but in this one particular one, he goes on and he doesn't save the day. Everything turns out worse.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, how people feel sometimes, where they're like, I did what I was supposed to do, but it doesn't make me or my family feel any better. I'm miserable. Right. I have this dead-end job that's making lots of money. A lot of times it has to do with people making lots of money. Just in case you're ever curious, money does not equal happiness. And actually, as the great Notorious B.I.G. once said, or the backup singers, the more money we come across, the more problems we see.
Indeed.
I don't actually know who sings that part.
Kelly Price.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Of course you would know.
Yep.
Another Puff Daddy reference.
Yes, indeed.
If you want to know what we're talking about when we say another Puff Daddy reference, Adam will link to his SoundCloud.
We'll have a link in the description. All right.
But yeah, but this idea of like, you have to do this box no matter what. You wake up, like Link wakes up at the beginning of the game and he's told what to do. That's like being born and just, you're learning as a kid. You're on this plateau, which is what he's literally on. And that's your teenage years. And then you go off and you really live your life. And you can go anywhere, but you're told where to go. He's told to go to Kakariko Village.
Mm-hmm.
And what does he do? Most people who play the game will go straight to Kakariko Village.
Right.
And then they'll do the next thing. And then the next thing. And they'll go through the whole game because they're supposed to. And
right.
Beat the game. And then once you beat the game, you can't go back. I mean, in the game, you have to, it's done. It's over. You can't go back and have all that fun that you had playing it because you did the thing you were told to do. And maybe that wasn't the fun part of the game. One of the things I love about Breath of the Wild is all the fun things you do, and you can just get caught up in side quests. It took me 1.5 years to beat the game because I just kept getting caught up in doing other things. And also Super Mario Odyssey came out, and I really love that game, and I still to this day do. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, see, as you're talking about Breath of the Wild and this concept of just going along with, we'll just call it the quest line, because, and that's kind of what life is, more or less, a quest line. Then I'm thinking of like Fallout 3. So just to sort of bring it into another video game thing, another video game world, it's almost exactly what you were saying. You're born into a situation and you do as you're directed because that's what you're directed to do, even though you have other options that are out there. You can go and do other things. But you don't know those options are there, right? Like you don't know that you can go to another town and do everything that you were supposed to be doing originally, but in a different way. You know what I mean? Not the first time anyway. It takes experience to learn that. But anyway, so continue. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I talk about Link because Link is such a typical protagonist of a video game. Mm-hmm. He's silent. He has no personality. The silent protagonist is a thing that's been around. It's not as big anymore as it used to be, but let's face it, that's a lot of silent protagonists in video games. But this idea that the protagonist is silent because you become the protagonist. It's your personality.
Right.
He's the link between you and the game.
Yeah.
But
pun completely intended.
Yeah. Yes. But you get to you get to be him, but you don't really get to role play except for the fact that you have to do the mission you're supposed to. If you want to find the credits. And what is the credits in American life? Retirement. You hit retirement, that's your credits.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
If you're lucky, if you don't kill yourself before you have the opportunity. I mean, not like intentionally kill yourself, but through the stress and pressure of life.
Yeah.
Overdo it, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so
not to get too, you know, dying never saw retirement.
Yeah. That's the goal we've been told. We work until we retire, and then we get to relax and sit back and watch the credits.
The quest line.
And
yeah.
And then if there's some post-credit scenes, we get to play around. That's our retirement. We get to have fun. We did the main quest. Now we can do fun things like in Super Mario Odyssey, as I just said earlier. You get to go to, spoiler alert, the Mushroom Kingdom.
Right.
Play around at Peach's Castle in the post-credit scene. It's a totally different game.
Yeah.
After you beat it, because after you defeat Bowser the first time, it's a very different game because you can't defeat Bowser again. He's defeated. He's done.
Right.
And so, sorry.
Is there, so for us, the takeaway would be, like, is there an opting out? Is there another way to go about the approach to all this? You know what I mean?
Well, I think this gets into the Stanley Parable to tie everything around. Stanley Parable, you're told literally what to do, and you will get the blissful ending if you do exactly what you're told. But interesting enough, you don't get the credits if you've done what you're told. The credits come from a different ending. But the idea is, like, you can opt out in that game and get different endings. Ones where you die and either purposely or not purposely. Ones where you try not to kill a baby. But you get a lot of this idea of, like, what you're supposed to do. And the Stanley Parable, and like a lot of games, especially in the past, like especially in the late, like 2005 to 2015, I felt like I saw this a lot. Really played with the idea of what a video game is and what you're supposed to do. Like Braid did this, Undertale did this. This idea of, like, what is the purpose of a video game? Kill everything in your way and then get to the credits. Is that the only purpose? And I think that's the question we have to ask ourselves in real life is, what is the purpose of our lives?
Yeah.
And we're coming at it from Americans. I guess we could say we're coming at it from Western civilization. This is a very Western civilization type thing.
Yeah.
We're supposed to make money. We're supposed to go in a field that's similar to what our parents did. Stay close to home, work until we retire, and then we can rest.
Well, and pay taxes.
Well, yeah.
That's the ultimate goal of everything that we're doing. Like that's the whole reason for public education, and the economic system is ultimately to contribute to society to government, and by proxy society via the tax form, effectively.
Yep. But what do? We pay taxes, and what do we get? We get the comfort.
Comfort of what?
Comfort of knowing that we get our needs taken care of.
Right.
Like,
and that
get our
comfort.
Like, if you live in America right now, it is December 2020. Here's the comforts you get by living in America and paying your taxes, quote unquote. You get to know, like, hey, most likely no foreign invaders are going to come and hurt you.
Yeah.
You get to know, hey, I'm going to have access to groceries. Now, 2020, it's been rough, but we still have had access to food, and water, and electricity. And other thing, hey, next year, maybe by May, you're going to have access to a vaccine. That's going to mean your life can, quote unquote, go back to normal.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what you get from America.
potentially.
And the thing is, you're not going to get that in a bunch of other countries. We talk about this vaccine for COVID. That's what we're talking about. If you're listening to this 6 years in the future, you know whether or not we're right, or if it was all wash. But anyway, the thing that medical experts are saying now is the goal is to hope to have a vaccine out by May. What they don't tell you is the goal is to have a vaccine out by May in the U.S., in Britain, and in a lot of the Western rich countries. And they have no craps to give about Asia or Africa or South America.
Well, Asia will take care of itself. No. Don't worry about Asia. Koreans will figure it out. Japanese will figure it out. Filipinos and the other sort of Philippines, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Malaysia, Indonesia, they might have a little more hard time. China,
the rich countries,
certain areas of China,
the rich countries are going to figure it out. Like Japan, Korea, those are rich countries.
Yeah.
China is a pretty rich country. They're going to be able to figure it out, and they have a lot of people to vaccinate, but they'll figure out how they want to. They
also have a lot of people that they consider disposable. So,
in the U.S., we've got a lot of people we want to vaccinate, and who they don't consider disposable. Why don't they consider them disposable? Why, Adam? Why does the U.S. not want its people to die young?
Because you don't pay taxes if you're dead.
Yep. You cannot pay taxes if you're dead. And this is always going to be, and I think Adam has a similar argument, this is always going to be my argument of why the government is not trying to kill you. The government doesn't want you dead.
Oh, they just want to exploit you. It's not, that's the caveat to it. I don't know if that's the right word, but that's the thing.
Yeah, so, the government doesn't want you dead because dead people don't pay taxes.
Aren't exploitable. That's right.
And they also can't vote for you. No matter what certain politicians may be saying right now, on a widespread scale, dead people cannot vote. And even on a small scale, it's not really as easy as you would think it is in 2020. Anyway, but yeah, so by paying taxes and living in your means, what you're supposed to do, you do get certain things. You get certain privileges that you're going to be taken care of in certain ways. And we're okay with that. Most people are okay with that. It's the Matrix, blue pill, red pill.
Is it the best system? I would argue probably not. But
is it the most fair system? Definitely not.
No.
Unless you buy into the system and you do well in the system. If you're a middle class, why do you think everybody cares about the middle class? Because the middle class, if you're middle class, this is the perfect system for you.
Yeah. Well,
because you don't have to put in that much work and you get enough benefits for not putting in too much work. Yeah. If you're upper class, there's a lot of, when I say work, I don't mean just like actual doing a job, but also things you're expected to do. If you're rich, like, insider trading.
Right.
But
corruption, yeah.
Yeah, it's very complicated being rich, I think, in this society.
A lot of games to be played.
Yeah. Middle class, you have no games to play.
Well,
the only games you play are on Saturday with your children as you're throwing the football around. The old pigskin.
I don't know.
This got way too preachy and very weird very fast. But
so let's bring it back around.
So yeah. So here's the thing. The Legend of Zelda series, your Link is supposed to do this quest. That's the goal. Beat the quest, get the credits, all is well. No matter what it stops in the way, no matter the fact that he has to leave his hometown or he has to lose everything he has grown to love, or he falls in love with a princess and now he can't have a relationship with her because that's not a part of the quest. And you just deal with it. And that's kind of how we are too. We just deal with it. What does that do to the mental health of a Link type character, the silent protagonist? What does that do to the silent American?
And is that the best way to live?
Yeah. And that's why I'm going to say, next time you play a video game, don't play for the credits. Play for whatever you find fun and stay there for a while.
Play for the experience. If you're playing Fallout 4, build a town. You know, they call it settlement. Yeah.
If you're playing Breath of the Wild, build a town. You literally can.
If you're playing Minecraft, build something. I don't know what to build in Minecraft, but
you can build a town in Minecraft. You could build almost anything in Minecraft. You could build a working Game Boy in Minecraft. Yes. Next time you play a video game, do something that you're not necessarily supposed to do, but you find fun to do.
Yeah.
Don't let it be the side quest. Let beating the game be the side quest.
Yeah, and same thing with life. If you're playing if you're playing the game of life, you know, do what you're supposed to do, but then also do other stuff that makes you happy.
Fun.
Have fun.
If
like
it makes
in.pencil.
you happy,
yeah,
how could it be that bad?
Yeah.
If it makes you happy, why are you so mad?
Yeah. I don't know what we're getting at here, but yes.
It's a Sheryl Crow song. I may have screwed up the lyrics.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So that, like, do what's fun. Like going to youtube.in.pencil.live and subscribing.
It's
and
a blast.
Watching all the videos and sharing them with your family, and then watching them again and sharing them with your friends, and then watching them again. And then not just listening to this podcast, but listening to all our podcasts and sharing them with your friends and family.
And then tweeting them out and putting them on Facebook. Yes.
Facebook, Twitter. If you have a YouTube channel, talk about our stuff on a YouTube channel in positive light. And then just keep telling people and letting them know, and make sure you continue to watch and click on links. And then when all that is done, buy a Ridge wallet, because this episode of the In.Pencil podcast is not sponsored by Ridge Wallet, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Do we have a new ending?
I forgot to show you that, but yes, it's amazing. Anyway, just continue as you were, but don't do like the final, like, life is written in ink, blah, blah. Don't do any of that. We'll just say like, thanks for listening to the In.Pencil podcast. Or no, not even that.
Yep.
Let's just end it. It's over.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Life is not written in ink. We change, we grow, we make mistakes, we learn, and eventually we fade away. Life is written in pencil. Thank you for listening to the In.Pencil podcast.